That was awesome. Cool. Great. Next up, we have a very good friend of mine, Timmy Wood, is going to come read us a story today. It's called Rapture. Timmy and I go way back, ever since Cancun. Is that right, Timmy? When we met those wonderful ladies that actually turned out to be men.
That sounds about right.
Yeah! Come on up, Timmy. Read the...
I was going to sit in the chair, but it's wet now. Can Mark come beatbox for my story too? I'm kidding, Mark. It's not that kind of story. This story is very special to me because it was told at the very first grown-up story time we did in here as this series, and it's also special because it's true. It really did happen to me. So some of y'all may know this story, may remember it, some may not. So here we go. Alright, when I was young, my parents thought it'd be a great idea to put me in a school that was not a public school. And normally that'd be cool, private schools are awesome. But not this kind of private school, because this was a church private school. Which is like, the people of the church, they start a church, and then they have kids, and they're like, wow, we don't want to send our children into the world to be, you know, tainted with evolution and books. Let's start our own school. So they start their own school, and I went to Livingstone's Christian school from kindergarten to 10th grade. And in my 6th grade year, I had this teacher named Mrs. Barrow, and Mrs. Barrow was fucking crazy. I pray to God she is not teaching anymore. She was obsessed with like weird shit. Like she was obsessed with angels, and she claimed that she had a guardian angel that followed her everywhere, and his name was Charlie. And she also would tell us that we shouldn't use slang because the angels don't understand us when we talk. If you use slang, angels do not understand what it means to say, hey, I'm cool for Christ. Because then the angel says, earlier he said he was hot for the Lord. What's up with that? This lady was crazy. She also told us that whenever you see something out of the corner of your eye, she would say, when you see something out of the corner of your eye, boys and girls, that could be an angel or a demon. She would, oh God, yeah. But one thing she loved, even more than angels and demons and crazy fucked up shit like that, she loved the Book of Revelations and the Rapture. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Rapture is, it's when God goes, you know what? Let all those people who believe in me, let's take them up to heaven, and everyone else, let's have them have the worst fucking time of their life. So, basically, everyone as a Christian goes to heaven, and then on earth there's wars and tribulation and scorpion monsters attack, and it's horrible. And she taught that shit for like a month. We didn't have class for like a month. And all she taught was the rapture. And she was obsessed that it was going to happen any day. She would always come like, sign of the end times, boys and girls. This is happening in the Middle East. Sign of the end times. You know what? I'm not even going to assign homework tonight because the rapture's probably going to happen tonight. No homework. And she had these videos that she showed us. These really cheap, low-budget movies that I come to realize now were horror films. And one week, we canceled everything, even Rapture Talk, to watch these movies. Because there were 4 of them, and they were each like 3 hours long. And I was a young, impressionable child, 6th grade, and watching these movies and hearing all this Rapture Talk really fucked me up. Like, big time. These movies, people are getting their heads cut off by guillotine because they don't take the mark of the beast, and it was scary. And I became obsessed with the fact that what happens if the rapture happens and I'm not one of the chosen ones? And so it plagued me, and I would like lie in bed at night and hear my parents talking in the living room, and they'd take a moment and pause and stop talking, and I had to rush out and make sure they were still there and be like, oh, thank God, the rapture didn't happen. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry. Then one day, I went to the grocery store with my mom and my sister, and we came home, and my mom was like, Tim, why don't you go get the mail? Because our mailbox was across the street. And I was like, okay, getting the mail's fine. I'm 6th grade. And I go, and I get the mail, and I walk back in the house, and I'm like, Mom, I got the mail, I got the mail! And I walk in, and no one's there. I'm like, that's weird. They were just in, I saw them, I could have sworn I saw them walk in the house. And I look in all the bedrooms, they're not in the bedrooms. I look outside in the backyard, they're not in the backyard. I look down in the front yard, not the front yard, they're not down the street. I'm looking everywhere, they're nowhere to be found. And my first thought is, holy shit, the rapture just fucking happened. Minus the expletives, because I didn't want to, in case it didn't happen, I didn't want to curse and then not go. So it was, I was like, the rapture happened, I'm stuck here. And then immediately I was like, what am I going to, should I board up the window? Should I go on the run? I can't take the mark of the beast, I got to be able to, oh god, what am I, this is going to be Armageddon? Scorpion monsters are going to attack me? Oh man, and I start freaking out and just be like, what? Why did it not take me? Why was I not taken in the rapture? And I start thinking, I'm like, God, what did I do? And then I realized that God had forsaken me and taken everyone else. And at 6th grade, I get on my knees crying and bawling and start cursing God for not taking me in the rapture. What did I do? What did I do? I went to church, I was a Christian school, I married to my sister. Why was I not taken? Now I'm gonna have to get my head cut off. And then my mother walked in the room. And of course I'm crying. I'm like, I thought the rapture happened and I was left behind and I made me take the mark of the beast on my forehead and it was just, I'm so glad you're here. The peace united all the nations and it was just. But now I feel like I'm glad that happened because if that hadn't happened, I probably would still be really scared of the rapture. And now that for 15 minutes of my life, I've kind of lived it. If the rapture does happen and I'm not taken, at least I know I'm prepared. Thank you very much.